Hey guys, today we are going to be drawing this chair. The tools I'm going to be using today are going to be assorted drawing pencils like these. I think I have a 3B, a 2B, 3B, and a 6B. I've got paper stumps, small and medium, and then I've got my Tombow eraser here. All of these tools, I've got those in the links in the description below, so if you don't have them, you can check those out. Now, whenever you're drawing, you're going to look at a couple things. I first start with this 2B pencil. 2B pencil is my starter pencil that I'm going to go with. And when I look at this chair, I'm going to look at, the overall form. You're not looking at the front view alone, you're looking at a little bit of the side. So that, in essence, is a 2-point perspective, okay? So when you first start out, you are going to be looking at the angles. So you're looking at the leg parts, where if this is the horizontal line at the bottom, you're gonna look at this kind of slope that it lies on. So this is gonna be a little bit more flat. This is a little bit higher here, maybe a little bit higher, something like that. So I do really short lines initially until I like them. Now you're also going to look at your vertical corner line here. So the corner line, when you're looking at that, it isn't actually, it's not a vertical line. It's a slightly sloped line, just a little bit, not a huge slope, but just a little bit of a slope. Then you're also going to look at the proportion. So if you measure the overall width of this whole thing, and this is the corner, and this is maybe a third, right? You're going to start this as a third, and then the whole width, the span, you're going to measure. This is a third, 1/3, another third, another third. So it's going to be around about here. So that's going to be your 1/3 to 2/3 ratio. And then you're going to also look at the overall height. Okay, so if this is the overall length of it, sorry, you're going to see how much does it go up high, the legs. This is like the next level for the second leg, or the bottom of the base metal, then the overall height of it. So if I'm going to look on the left side and I see that, hey, I'm measuring, if this is the line to measure the leg, then I'm going to measure 1, 2, 3 of those to go up. 1, 2, 3. So that might be where this arm will occur. And then that it would be 1, 2, approximately 1, 2 up. So it's 1, 2. So it's not quite 2, so it's a little bit less. So that might be the approximate height of where that curve occurs. All right. So those are just kind of little micro measurements, something like that, maybe. All right. So here, you're going to go back to like the kind of how the alignment is. So if this is the line that goes towards this right vanishing point, this one all goes, so it goes to the right vanishing point, this goes to the right vanishing point, then you're going to have a seat cushion that goes to the right vanishing point, this is going to go to the right vanishing point. But the alignment for the left arm and the right arm is going to be also, going in the same right direction, okay, going this way. So, but we're going to stop it here because that's going to be where that arm will occur. So here's where I start to look at the silhouette, the negative space. So the negative space here, I'm going to be looking at, hey, there's a void under here, there's a void under here, there's this shape over here. Now these are just, again, the starting elements of like how I kind of micro measure things. All right, so now that I've got the overall lay of the land, remember this isn't quite vertical, it's slightly angled. I'm going to do the same thing with this back one, where I'm going to do a slight angle there, and a slight angle here, because it's a lounge chair, and it's going to, you're not going to be upright, you're going to try to be lounging a little bit. All right, well, now I'm going to go ahead and try to draw this silhouette shape here. I'm going to do this silhouette shape here. Get that, the leg here, right? Something like that. Then there's also this thickness of this arm cushion that comes about, that kind of slopes up. So this guy comes in here, maybe something like that. And then this guy goes down a little bit. There's some kind of negative space here that you can measure. This right here for like the arms, okay? And then there's some kind of stitching that's occurring here. All right, and then you have the thickness of this cushion. And again, I have that in a cushion line there. This one again goes cushion line here. So that starts to kind of fill out a little bit more. And then here is the seat cushion. Some kind of stitching that is occurring here. And then you're going to also have some offset lines for like the metal base, maybe some stitching that's occurring here. So those are a couple offset lines here. And here you're going to have some kind of line for the metal, some kind of line for the cording, and then some kind of thickness here for the metal on the left side that follows through on the left side of this piece. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do offset here for the metal. Something like that. All right, so now you're going to look at the shape. You're going to look at your negative space to see if you're happy with it. And once you're happy with it, that's when you're going to start to shade. So I'm going to go ahead and shade. I'm not going to use a 2B shade. I'm going to start to go a little bit darker. So. This item right here is already pretty light. So the good thing about using that paper stump is that you can, you can go ahead and map out where your shadows are. And then you can do your hatching. Kind of feel that out a little bit. And you can use your paper stump and take that dark area that you just drew. You can take it and go around the form. So this shadow that you just did here, and it kind of covers your measurement lines. So for those of you who are really like very precise things, the good news is it kind of goes away all your little shading. Something like that. I've got a little profile here that I want to keep. Maybe a little line here, maybe some stitching here. So don't forget, I have got some kind of metal thing here, along with the cord welting here. Okay, something like that maybe. I can always use my Tombow eraser to kind of show some highlights later on. But right now, everything I'm doing is freehand. I'm not using, what do you call it, a straight edge, because it's just a sketch. Now, I always encourage my students to try to sketch different things, especially things that they like, so that when you're doing quick sketch, you can go ahead and you already know how to draw it. So it's a lot easier for you to recreate it quickly because you already know the basic form. So again, this paper stump allows you to just move your shading a little bit more so you don't have to work as hard. Now this left side is pretty dark, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to my 6B pencil. My 6B pencil, because it's softer, it's going to allow me to go darker quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and outline the line that I need or would like to keep. So here's the outline. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a 2B. All right, sorry, I was wondering why it wasn't so smooth. All right, here, my 6B is softer, so that means when I push down, it's gonna give me some kind of darker value quicker because it's a softer lead. So, because this thing is a piece of wood, or a wood veneer, I'm gonna use long strokes. So later on, I can come back and use a sharper pencil and kind of get those wood grain to be a little bit more believable, and then kind of cover the perimeter where I have little gaps here. So let's see if we use paper stump to kind of help us with the little gaps, what that's gonna look like. Excuse me. So it looks something like this. So overall, when you see this piece of chair, you see a really dark left side. So I'm going to work on trying to go a little bit darker here. So that might be a matter of pressing down a little bit harder on the pencil. Plus I want to show some of this dark value, like the wood graining, the veneer. Okay, my puppy wants to come into the room. Hold on. Okay. Then I've got some like veneer or cording here. Oh my goodness. And then here it's a little bit darker because there's a cast shadow, and then there's some kind of welting or something here, or the seam. I think that's what that is. Some kind of seam here. This again is going to be a higher contrast here for the vertical plane where it meets the horizontal. So I'm going to go ahead and emphasize that. And then I'll come back with this guy here and kind of elongate that shadow here. All right, let's see, let's look at the legs. So we'll look at the legs here. We've got this side has a different value, so it's going to be a little bit darker, right? And then this guy goes to that one. And this leg, you're going to see the inside of this leg, the curve. And we're going to shade that just a little bit more. So it kind of looks like a chair. I mean, it's not my best work, but I mean, I think it looks kind of like what it's supposed to look like. And it really kind of depends on how much time you want to invest in these things. You know, here I'm showing the construction line. So it's not super clean, but I wanted to show you how I went about getting the forms. But at least you can kind of see how to approach it. And you can clean it up if you want, if you need. But you're just gonna practice drawing this until whatever you're trying to draw you're more comfortable with, and you can turn it in space. So maybe if you're drawing it within a room and it's not the exact angle that's in the room that you have as your reference photo, but because you're more aware of how to draw it, you can start turning things in space so that you can utilize the chair, and you can change it different position if you have to show more of the back or more of a side profile or whatever. All right, guys, I hope that helps you, and I will see you next time.